Well, this game was probably one of the tougher ones to watch, but I gotta do it, so here's a review. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockChalk01, and today, yesterday, whenever you're watching this, the 6-3 Kansas Jayhawks headed down to Lubbock, Texas to take on the 4-5 Texas Tech Red Raiders, and Texas Tech won by a few scores, by a final score of 43-28. Yeah, fair warning, I almost have zero time to do this, so I'm kind of rushing through it a little bit quickly, but there's a lot of things that KU needed to fix, and yikes, this was a tough game to watch. Now, I'm not going to say there weren't all bad things, there were a few good things, but the bad outweighed the good, so for that being said, or with that being said, stupid English, for those of you who do not know, I give positives and negatives about the game. I give a player of the game and a player who needs to improve. Without further ado, let's do it. First off, positives. Offensively, KU moved the ball very well as they picked up 525 yards total in this game with 283 passing yards and 242 rushing yards. In fact, we actually outgained the Red Raiders by 15 in this game, so good stuff. I mean, 20 first downs in this game, 6 of 13 on third down. That's pretty impressive for this Kansas team. And only 2 punts, which really shocked me. So, unfortunately, the bad outweighed them. So that was the positives. To the negatives, KU allowing Texas Tech 510 yards, which includes 264 rushing yards and 246 passing yards on 6.2 yards per play. That's tough to get through. Also, Texas Tech, 26 first downs in this game, so they had more first downs than KU, and converted on 7 of 15 third downs, and went 1 for 2 on fourth down, while the Hawks went 1 for 3. So, yeah, third and fourth down conversions stunk. The Red Raiders had more plays than the Hawks, 82 plays for the Red Raiders, while Kansas finished with 65. They did punt the ball more often with 3, but the big difference in this game was turnovers, as Texas Tech won the turnover battle 2-0, and penalties. This game, in terms of penalties, was the worst officiated game all season. This crew chief, or this crew, called a total of 16 penalties in this game, and KU manageably still had the most. KU was penalized 10 times for 75 yards, while the Red Raiders were handed 6 penalties for 47. And all of these were ticky-tack. And gosh, it just was a big blow for KU because most of the time that those penalties came were on big plays that KU would make like a 30-yard run on offense, and then that would be taken back because of a holding call or a false start. And it was just crap. It was garbage. I have to admit it. It was bad. Now, since you know you have 3 games left, you gotta get those things fixed, especially when you have a month between potentially your last regular season game and your potential postseason game whenever that gets announced. So, yeah, those need to be fixed. And with all that said, those are my negatives. Now, my player of the game, I got a few honorable mentions that I really want to give shout-outs to. And the first one is Lawrence Arnold, because he had an incredible game with just the limited amount of catches he had. 4 catches, 110 yards, 27.5 yards per catch. And wow, he played great despite having only the 4 receptions. He wasn't even the leading receiver on the team. I think that was Mason Fairchild with 5. I could be wrong. But 4 catches and getting over the century mark. He almost got over the century mark after his 3rd catch. He was just short. But yeah, he played great. And then you got Devin Neal, 24 carries, 190 yards on 7.9 carries. He didn't score, which I don't know how he didn't score, but stuff happens. But yeah, it seemed like he did not miss a beat from the Oklahoma State game a week ago. He kept that momentum and proved that he still could make big plays. And He also had, if I can look real quick, he was also on the receiving end with 4 catches for 8 yards. I mean, so almost 200 total, 190 of them being on the ground with the 8 receiving, but still, near 200-yard game total, that's great. But my player of the game, I'm going to give it to the quarterback, Jason Bean. He played incredible. Bean threw 17 to 28, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Yeah, I mean, the interception kind of takes away from everything, but still. And then he also ran the ball 4 carries for 10 yards and a touchdown as well. Yeah, he played great, especially throwing the ball. I mean, that's pretty accurate numbers, going 17 of 28. Man, I can't speak. But anyway, he played great, and I want to showcase some of his passing touchdowns. And the first one I want to showcase is his first that he threw in the game, which was on a 4th and 1, and he found good old Jared Casey for 66 big ones. And the final one that I want to look at was an incredible throw, but also an incredible catch, as it was late in the 4th quarter with KU trailing, and Quentin Skinner made an incredible toe-tapping catch in the end zone. Yeah, Bean played incredible. He was taken out in the game late after he had the fumble, but yeah, and then you got to see the true freshman Ethan Basco come in for the first time. But yeah, Bean played incredible, and there's no question he deserves my player of the game. Now, player who needs to improve. You can go with anybody on the defense at this point, but I am going to pick someone that no one would expect, and that is Jacob Borchilla. The kicker is my player who needs to improve because, well, the dude missed every single field goal he attempted in ridiculous fashion as well. Jacob had 4 points, which were 4 extra points, so he was perfect there. But every field goal he kicked, he missed, which was from 39 yards and 42 yards, and he hit him off the upright. One of them being a double doink. Ugh. This game could have gone completely different if Jacob would have made his kicks. Seriously, he left 6 points off the board by doinking it off the upright. I mean, shoot, this makes me think of going back a couple years ago where I had one of my band friends. We had enough time to kick in Memorial Stadium, enough time to kick field goals. I kicked one from 30, which, don't get me wrong, I'm impressed with myself that I could be able to kick a 30-yard field goal and get it over the crossbar.
What?
That wasn't the best. I mean, the best was one of our trombone players kicked a 45-yarder through the uprights with room to spare. I mean, he probably could have kicked a 48-yard field goal, and I'm not lying. If you're a band person and you remember that day, let me know in the comments because, oh man, it was incredible. But yeah, and the fact that he can out-kick our kicker this season, it just says something. And yeah, Jacob, you really need to improve that kicking leg, my friend. So that's why Jacob Borchilla is my player who needs to improve. And that's going to do it for my review of KU versus Texas Tech. Again, the final score, Texas Tech 43, Kansas 28. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Push that notification bell. Tell your friends about these videos. And I should see you again for the next football review as the Hawks return to David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium to take on the nationally ranked, at this point, Texas Longhorns for Senior Day / night. Give or take when the time is. I don't know. It hasn't been announced yet. So hopefully it gets announced soon. But until then, have a good day. Never ever bring exotic dancers to the field house. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.